welcome to seetv. I am Emmanuel. Hello and welcome to Football Domain on seetv. I am Emmanuel Bafog. There are major topics to discuss today regarding the FA Cup matches that went down last night, and then of course on the international scene, the Nigerian national football team. Stay tuned, the show continues after this break. Welcome back. It's your Football Domain right here on your #1 online television channel, seetv. Let's move to the FA Cup matches that went down yesterday between Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Nottingham Forest went into that game knowing that a win will put them in the quarterfinals for the first time in 11 years. But then Manchester United went to the City ground to get a win, a 1-0 win, courtesy of a Casemiro's header, who, by the way, gashed his head when scoring that goal, but that didn't deter him to move Manchester United into the next round. Manchester United looking for a momentum in that game after they lost their weekend match against Fulham at Old Trafford. They already lost one game at the City ground this season, and they were down sure that they won't lose another one going into yesterday's fixture. But they got the win. They move on to the quarterfinals, and it's safe smoothing, or let me say safe landing for them in that aspect as well. Eric Ten Hag said that the win was composed, the win was good, the win was needed ahead of the Manchester derby going on on the weekend, on Sunday. And Andre Onana also gave his recommendation. He also gave his contribution as well with a man of the match performance, making 5 saves, key saves at that, to deny Nottingham Forest, particularly Taiwo Awoniyi, in getting an equalizer. Well, he came under criticism a lot this season, Andre Onana, but he came up trumps yesterday for Manchester United, and you have to say that everything that encompasses the fighting resilience, the teamwork, and all was all that Manchester United embodied last night. You could say that the gameplay is still the same. They were totally dominated. No, let's say totally dominated. For the stats people, Manchester United dominated that game because at the end of the game they had more possessions, they had more shots. But when it comes to putting the ball down on the field to play and countering, I think Nottingham Forest had a little bit of extra spice against Manchester United. But fortunately for Manchester United, they got the win courtesy of Casemiro, who, by the way, will be looking to stamp his authority in the midfield when they go up against Manchester City at the weekend. Moving on to the next match, which is Liverpool versus Southampton tie. Liverpool versus Southampton tie. The club kids did it again. They were energized by the Carabao energy drink that they drank on Sunday when they went up against Southampton yesterday. They won that game courtesy of a dance double and a Kuma's first goal on his debut. Moving on to the quarter-final stage, Jurgen Klopp, with a whole lot of first teamers out on injury, took his kids, that's what they are called nowadays, took his kids to the pitch yesterday, and then they won that game 3-0. Jurgen Klopp said that he hopes that these players will be back for the next league game at the weekend, but he hopes that even if they are not back, the young kids are doing their best. The young kids are doing their utmost best to see that they are winning games and keeping in touch with their rivals. And then after the conclusion of those games yesterday, the draw for the quarterfinals of the FA Cup were made. The draws, they were made. Wolves will be going up against surprise package Coventry City, who by the way are being managed by Mark Robbins, who scored that winning goal to save Sir Alex Ferguson's job in 1990 to win the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest for Manchester United. He guided them into the quarter-final stage, and perhaps they are the surprise packages of the tournament. The next fixture on the list is the biggest one in the round so far. It is Manchester United going up against Club Kids Liverpool. They will be looking to compete against each other for a record, I think, 10th time in the FA Cup, and a place in the semi-finals at Wembley up for grabs. Liverpool will be hoping to have key players back for that game, in order not for them not to crash out of the tournament early. And the next fixture is Chelsea versus Leicester City. This is a rematch of the 2021 final in which Chelsea lost to Leicester City at Wembley Stadium, and that remains the only triumph of Leicester City in the FA Cup. Leicester City top of the table, of the championship table with 78 points. We'll be looking to recreate that magic run they had when they defeated Manchester United in the quarterfinals. They defeated Brighton and they defeated Chelsea in the final as well. And then moving on, the holders, Manchester City, will be facing Newcastle United, who by the way will be looking to end the trophy drought, their 69-year trophy drought. Wow, that's a long time, and that's why the Saudi Arabians bought the club to energize the club, to bring the club back to its former glory. And can they do it this season? Time will tell. Moving on to the international scene, Jose Peseiro has said that he needs a break. He will be resigning from his post as the Super Eagles manager after the recently concluded 2023 AFCON tournament. He said that he needed a break, that he's grateful for his time as Nigeria at the top of the managerial post at Nigeria. He had fun, he had a lot of memories, but it's time to have a break. But he did make mention of something, that he has had seven offers, and reports this morning were saying, okay, he already lost the Algerian job, which went to the Serbian Vladimir Petkovic, but he lost one job, but there are still 6 offers on the table. So he wants to take a break from coaching, then assess his points to see which one he wants to do. Jose Peseiro, who coached Nigeria at the recently concluded aforementioned AFCON tournament, finished second with Nigeria. And though he went into that tournament with a lot of criticism, a lot of bashing, a lot of no good feeling comments about his tactics, his management, will we ever even get past the group stages? But that's the beauty of the AFCON. The beauty of the AFCON 2023, it brought out so many things. It brought out so many fantastic moments for everyone, for the players, for the manager, even players that are not in Nigeria now, players in the diaspora. They want to join the Super Eagles because they've seen how the AFCON tournament is being celebrated. They've seen how the Nigerian players are being celebrated for even taking second at that. What if we had won the trophy? Only God knows what those players would have done. But yeah, the AFCON tournament brought so much beauty to everyone. And Peseiro, the man who wasn't given a chance going on into the tournament, is now having 7 offers because of his exploits at the AFCON tournament. And good one for him. I'm really happy for him. Though I would have liked for him to continue to next year's AFCON, to continue the consistency, to continue grooming these players. But I think it's best that both entities part ways. And I wish Jose Peseiro all the best in his future endeavor. Moving on to the women's national football team, the Super Falcons. They recently played an Olympic tournament qualifier against Cameroon to determine which of them would represent Africa at the Paris 2024 Olympics. The game was played at the Abuja National Stadium, and the goal scored by Esther Okoronkwo in the 36th minute. The goal was scored by Esther Okoronkwo in the 36th minute, and Nigeria leading by 1-0 going on to the end of the game. Then controversy struck. Cameroon had a free kick. Cameroon players had a free kick, and then they said they accused the Nigerians of using, in quotes, juju. They accused Nigerians of using juju, which begs the question. This is a country, this is a nation, this is a footballing giant that has dominated Nigerian football, or what am I even saying, African football, for 30 plus years. 30 plus years. And now you are accusing the Nigerian national team of using, in quotes, juju, voodoo. Who does that? And it begs to wonder, where are we going in African football? Where are we going? Because if we are still thinking like this in this time and age, it is not having good readings for African football. Imagine England or Sweden or Japan or all these Caribbean countries, Jamaica, the United States, losing a game, and they are accusing their opponents of saying, oh, they are using voodoo. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If it is that way, we could have won the World Cup. Both the male and the female. We could have won the World Cup. Because I don't seem to understand, in this day and age, we are thinking like this as Africans. We're thinking like this as Africans. And then you wonder, what is really going on? What is really going on? Because if you say that the Super Falcons are using voodoo, then the Super Falcons should have won the World Cup by now. Because remarkably, they are one of the only few countries to have qualified for every one of the Women's World Cup, starting from 1991, and they should have won one at least. But go and look at the record of the Super Falcons at the World Cup. It's nothing to write home about. I was checking it yesterday, and they had I think 19 losses, 5 wins. Is that a team using juju? I'm really shocked at the accusations of these Cameroonians, to be very honest with you, because we can't be thinking like this as Africans. We can't. Times are evolving, times are changing. You played a game, you lost a game. Greet the opponent as a sign of good sportsmanship. Don't try and cut through corners and saying Nigerians are using voodoo to win their games because you couldn't score. Why couldn't you score? The Nigerians, they scored 1 goal. If they were using voodoo, they could have scored 99 if it's at that. And I really love what Deborah Abiodun said concerning the accusations of the Cameroonians. She said that, in quotes, that they saw it firstly as a sign of distraction, and irrespective of whether of what the Cameroonians believe, they believe in God, and in God they stand. And she has been receiving an amount of praise for her comments, given the fact that she is a young member of the Super Falcons. She's 20 years old, playing for the Washington, or let me say the high school university in Washington. She's 20 years old, and she's having so much wisdom to say this. And it begs to wonder, the mentality of different teams in Africa needs to change. It needs to change. We can't be thinking like this in the global scene. It's not proper. What would the European teams be saying? What would the Asian teams be saying? What would the Caribbean teams be saying? Let's do better. We are much more than this. The last World Cup that we had, the last Women's World Cup that we had, opened the eyes of the world to Africa, Nigeria, South Africa, Zambia, Morocco, and even this Cameroon as well. Every one of them opened the world's eye to Africa. Well, congratulations to the Super Falcons for moving to the fourth and final stage of qualifying for the Olympics. And Africa has been awarded 2 slots, and the both finals comprises of Morocco versus Zambia, and then the big rivalry, Nigeria versus South Africa. The winners of both ties will represent Africa at the Paris 2024 Olympics. And once again, congratulations to the Super Falcons for even getting this far, and we hope that they take it all the way and qualify for the Paris 2024 Olympics. Just before I go, here's a fun fact about the victory that Manchester United had last night. Manchester United, with the victory over Nottingham Forest, will be participating in the 47th quarterfinals in the FA Cup. 47th quarterfinals in the FA Cup, and that's a national record for any team that has ever participated in the FA Cup. Remarkable feat, isn't it? Congratulations to Manchester United once again for that, for achieving that milestone. And that's all I have time for on the show today. Keep watching Football Domain for more football updates on seetv. I am Emmanuel Abnibafog. Do have yourself a very wonderful day. Bye.